Personality psychology shows us what makes all humans alike and what makes each person an individual. While our individual traits may be different from the next person's, they are all fairly ordinary and allow us to live an ordinary life. Unfortunately, this isn't the case for everyone. Research shows that around 9% of Americans over the age of 18 have some sort of personality disorder. These conditions may cause a person to struggle finding work, maintain important relationships, and just live a normal, happy life. Get to know the most common personality disorders because they may explain the behavior of someone that you know, or even yourself. So, what is a personality disorder? The DSM-5 defines a personality disorder as an enduring pattern of inner experience and behavior that deviates markedly from the expectations of an individual's culture. Now, as you'll see, some of these disorders cause people to act erratically or in a strange manner. Later, I'll tell you why some people believe movie characters like Willy Wonka or Winnie the Pooh has a personality disorder. Personality disorders may be caused by genetic factors or traumatic events. We're not really sure. Research has made a strong connection between genetics and the presence of obsessive-compulsive disorder. But verbal abuse and abusive relationships can also seem to cause personality disorders to develop. Every case is different. Although personality disorders can cause strange or even hurtful behavior, always try to be empathetic and understanding with people who have disorders. You'll never know what someone has endured in their lives. Before I start this video, I want to let you know that people can treat the symptoms of personality disorder, usually through different types of therapy. So, what are these personality disorders and what types of behavior do they cause? Psychologists categorize disorders into 3 different clusters. The first cluster contains personality disorder that cause odd behavior. The second causes dramatic behavior. And the third is a cluster that causes behavior driven by high anxiety. We call these odd, dramatic, and anxious clusters. You might actually recognize some of these symptoms. Not only might they appear in the people that you know, but they definitely appear in some iconic film and television characters. So, let's talk about cluster A first, the odd cluster. Paranoid personality disorder. The people with paranoid personality disorder aren't just paranoid. They experience a paranoia so intense that experts claim it is not based in reality. Paranoid personality disorder causes people to be highly suspicious of everyone around them. People with PPD may sincerely believe that everyone is actually out to harm them, that their partner is cheating on them, or that things that they say will only be used later against them. They may grow very distrustful and be reluctant to share any type of information or engage in social interactions. Have you ever watched the movie The Aviator? Leonardo DiCaprio's character displays symptoms of this disorder. He has obsessive-compulsive disorder throughout the film, and it worsens. He starts to become overly paranoid and displays an array of eccentric behaviors. Traumatic events may also cause someone to develop PPD, although children can develop the disorder early in their life. Warning signs include a strong preference for solitude, erratic thoughts and behaviors, and hypersensitivity. Unfortunately, due to the nature of this disorder, it can be very difficult for people to seek help. People with PPD may be paranoid about the usefulness of something like psychotherapy or the legitimacy of their therapist. But usually, therapy is the best form of treatment for PPD. Next, we have something called schizoid personality disorder. The next 2 personality disorders may sound like schizophrenia, but do not get them confused. Schizophrenia is not a personality disorder. It is a separate mental disorder, like bipolar disorder. People with schizoid personality disorder, also called SPD, do not have hallucinations or hear strange voices in their head. In fact, most people with SPD can actually live a pretty normal life and hold down a job. Now, they do have problems forming relationships with others. SPD causes people to be very detached from others. They prefer to be alone most of the time and are not always moved by emotional connections to others. People with SPD are in touch with reality, but they rarely seek help for their disorder because they may feel okay with not having close relationship with others. Many critics believe that Christian Grey of 50 Shades of Grey displays symptoms of this disorder. Next, we have schizotypal personality disorder. Again, schizotypal personality disorder is entirely separate from schizophrenia and schizoid personality disorder. What makes schizotypal personality disorder unique is the presence of strange beliefs or fantasies. People with this disorder may have very passionate ideas about things like outer space or other worlds, making it hard for normal people to relate to them. Some people believe that Willy Wonka, at least Gene Wilder's version, has schizotypal personality disorder. He created an entire world made of candy, and his speech was very strange. Willy Wonka also secluded himself for years in this world of his own creation. Paranoia is often present in people with schizotypal personality disorder, especially if the person's beliefs are rather disturbing or discomforting. As you can remember, Willy Wonka was rather paranoid about people stealing his recipes and his fortune. Psychologists have found links to schizotypal personality disorder and a family history of schizophrenia, but if that link is not known, it can be really difficult for people with this disorder to find help and form close relationship with others. Let's move on to cluster B, also known as the dramatic cluster. The first one is antisocial personality personality disorder. Now, this disorder sounds like a condition where people isolate themselves or they just don't like to be social. In fact, antisocial personality disorder describes a condition in which people blatantly disregard the rights of others through impulsive, manipulative, or downright criminal behavior. Have you ever seen American Psycho? Christian Bale's character is a classic but very extreme case of antisocial personality disorder. Psychologists have said that he displays symptoms of borderline personality disorder and also schizotypal personality disorder. Antisocial personality disorder exists on a spectrum. Not everyone who is diagnosed will be serious violent criminals. However, the most serious cases of antisocial personality disorders usually include psychopaths. They are aggressive, they lack remorse, and they use deceit to get things that they want, even at the expense of others. The next one is narcissistic personality disorder. Similar to antisocial personality disorder, people with narcissistic personality disorder have no regards for the feelings of others. However, this disregard is paired with an arrogance not based in reality. Narcissists believe that they are highly special and they're unique, and that they should be regarded as more important than other people. Now, this belief fuels their tendencies to manipulate others and even break the law to get what they want. Many narcissists have large fantasies and constantly seek attention. While narcissistic personality disorder inhibits people from having close relationships with others, many infamous celebrities have been suspected of having narcissistic personality disorder. For example, Ted Bundy is a classic case of NPD. Tens of thousands of mental health professionals have also stepped forward to say that Donald Trump is another classic case of NPD. You can leave a comment below whether or not you agree with that. Next, we have something called histrionic personality disorder. Like narcissists, people with histrionic personality disorder, also called HPD, may excessively seek out attention. They are the life of the party, and most people believe that they're just charming and outgoing. However, this behavior stems from a constant need to be accepted and validated. HPD is often characterized by seductively or overtly emotional behavior. If the person does not get the acceptance and validation that they crave, they may get passionately upset or display dramatic behavior. HPD leads people to believe that relationships are stronger and more meaningful than they might actually be. Michael Scott from The Office is a classic case of histrionic personality disorder. Lastly, in cluster B, we have borderline personality disorder. Borderline personality disorder is similar to paranoid personality disorder, but it is often characterized by mood swings or other erratic behavior. People with borderline personality disorder may engage in especially risky activities or be especially aggressive towards others. There are plenty of movie characters that display classic symptoms of the borderline personality disorder, including Clementine from Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind and Tiffany from Silver Linings Playbook. The memoir Girl Interrupted is also about an author's experience in a psychiatric hospital after being diagnosed with borderline personality disorder. Borderline personality disorder is often confused with or linked to bipolar disorder. Bipolar disorder is a mood disorder that involves intense periods of mania or depression. People with borderline personality disorder may also experience mood swings, but their disorder mainly stems from and negatively affects their relationships. Lastly, we have cluster C, which is the anxious cluster. First one is avoidant personality disorder. People with avoidant personality disorder are also very concerned with their reputation and how others think of them. But instead of constantly seeking validation by being outgoing or the life of the party, people with avoidant personality disorder tend to retract. They are unlikely to take risks or put themselves out there due to fears that they might be rejected or shamed. People with avoidant personality disorder aren't just shy. Their fears of rejection may cause them to completely withdraw from society and experience prolonged feelings of anxiety or fear. Now, this might seem like a rather silly example, but Elsa from Frozen displays symptoms of this disorder. Traumatic events caused by her magical powers led her to be secluded for years out of fear. Next, we have obsessive-compulsive personality disorder. Now, you might be familiar with obsessive-compulsive disorder, or OCD. Obsessive-compulsive personality disorder, or OCPD, is similar, but it's a separate condition. Like OCD, people with OCPD are driven by a desire to be perfect. They want to abide by specific rules, and they become obsessed with making lists and organized details. These organizational tasks may get in the way of forming relationships with others or understanding the objective of any activity. Now, unlike OCD, people with OCPD are not under the control of impulses or behaviors. People with OCPD may not flick the lights on or off a specific number of times or take a specific number of steps from one room to the next. They do, however, become preoccupied with perfection and may lose sight of what they were actually doing in the first place. Some analysts believe that Hermione Granger displays symptoms of OCPD. The 10th and last personality disorder is dependent personality disorder. As a child, it is normal to experience something called separation anxiety and fear of being alone. Adults who do not outgrow these fears will develop dependent personality disorder. They rely on others so much that they have a difficult time functioning independently. Every decision, from where they should live to what they should wear, can only be made after excessive validation and input from others. It's probably hard for people with this disorder to go to work or even complete daily tasks alone. Again, this is a silly example, but analysts have linked Cinderella's behaviors to dependent personality disorder. She consults mice and her fairy godmother for every decision until the end of the movie. As I end this video, I want to let you know that personality disorders are not something to be ashamed of. Many characters and real-life people who display symptoms of these disorders go on to lead successful and normal lives, but untreated, some disorders could cause very harmful behaviors. So, do you recognize these symptoms within yourself or maybe some of your friends or family members? It might be time to book an appointment or talk to a therapist. Talk therapy is one of the most effective forms of treatment for all personality disorders. Medication may help some of these disorders, but it seems to be relatively ineffective for others. If you feel like you might have a personality disorder, I suggest to reach out to a professional. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to go ahead and watch some of the other videos in this personality series. I've worked very hard on making them as best as possible. If you want to learn more about your own personality, you can actually check out my free personality quiz in the description below. What it does is it combines 3 of the major personality quizzes into one test that you can take in under 10 minutes. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and most of all, I hope that you learned something. Thank you so much for watching.